Hello, hello. Welcome to Creativity Collective. Hold on a second, having a little bit of trouble here. Oh my gosh, you guys, we have been through a tornado. So I actually can't put my phone on hold because we're actually using, we don't have internet here. We don't have a lot of power. But guess what? I came into my work today and I have power. So I'm thrilled to death. So, hey, pop in and say hi. My subject today is all about imposter syndrome. And I wanted to address this subject because I can guarantee you, unless you've been doing your work for years and years and years, your artwork, your jewelry work, at the beginning, every single person has imposter syndrome. Did you guys know that? Isn't that interesting? Hi, welcome, welcome. Oh my gosh, you guys, here in Cleveland, Ohio, we just had a hurricane come through. Hi from Wisconsin. Let me know where you guys are from. Hi, thank you for joining me. Oh my gosh. I wonder if you guys got hit yet by that hurricane. It's crazy in the Midwest. We never expect these tornadoes, or in Chicago, we always had tornadoes, but here, not so much. So I wanted to talk to you guys today about the imposter syndrome, as I talk about here, and how you can get over it. And I have four different ways for you that I have found that has helped me, help all my students that I've worked with through the years to get over imposter syndrome. So, to start with, it's like, do you have imposter syndrome? Yeah, probably. The answer is yes, unless you've been doing your jewelry or your artwork for a very long time. Everyone has it. Even if you walk around at this very moment and you say to yourself, oh my gosh, I feel so good and so strong about myself. There's always times as an artist and a jeweler where it just pops in. And I'll tell you, especially those times when you run into somebody else's work that is so beautiful, when someone casually walks past you and is like, oh, you're that looks like fun. Is that your hobby? As you're trying to do things, hey, hi there, nice to see you, thank you for writing. So yeah, so it's like there's many different ways. So when what I want to say, it's so interesting because with imposter syndrome, um, what is important is to come into your power and stay into your power. And I want to start with number one right away. Hi, you guys. Nice to see you. Pop in, say hi, please. It'd be fun to see you. So there's four different, I'll name them off one by one. There's four ways to really get into yourself and feel your strength. And that's the most important thing when you are looking to develop the strength of who you are and let go. What imposter syndrome is feeling like you're fake or feeling like you're not enough. And I remember when I had that years and years ago when I first started. And it's really interesting because when you're first starting something, there's always a vulnerability about you. Always. You'll always have a vulnerable place. And that's how you should be. That's the only way you can be open. Hi from Arizona. Nice to see you. Thank you, Alexis. Nice to see you again. So, here we are as artists and creators, and because of who we are, we have to get into this. Barbara, hi, Lavi. Yay, happy Creative Wednesday. Yay. So, we have to get into this vulnerable state. If you don't get into a vulnerable state, you're never going to be able to get to your real work. Oh my gosh, dance. Okay, I'm going to have Dancing with Aardvarks. Oh my God, that's amazing. Love that name. Hello from the UK. Oh, thank you for joining me. Great to see you guys. So yes, because we have to be into our vulnerability to be artists and creators, we're kind of on the chopping block when people come in and want to put us down very easily. It's like an easy one to get you in. Hi, nice to see you. Great. Oh, photography. I love to see you. Nice to see you guys. I love seeing you guys on my lives. This is our nice group that we have here. And there's so many people that watch this afterwards. So I'm so grateful to do these lives. I don't know if you guys know, we had a hurricane here. So I'm running on my phone's internet. So I'm hoping it goes smoothly. I can't promise, so we'll just see as we go. I really want to talk about this today because you guys know I'm Susan Lennart and I have done years and years worth of my own work and been successful in my own work. And then I've been in education where I've worked with students all over the world for 20 years teaching silversmithing and the whole creative process. What I love most of is the whole creative process. I personally love jewelry, and I used to do mixed media, but it really is, no matter what field that you're in, it's about the creative process. That's the part that feels good. That's the inventor's part. I was trained as an artist in Chicago. I went to the Art Institute of Chicago and graduated from Southern Illinois, and it's really been a fun pathway ever since. There's a couple films in here where I just really talk about my background and where I'm from, and all of that. So let's see. How to balance feeling your power and not becoming egocentric. Egocentric. I love that. That's a big subject that I was just talking about. So it really is a balance. Well, first of all, imposter syndrome is feeling like you're not enough, and the ways that happens. And you're talking about almost the opposite. Like, how do we make ourselves so strong and powerful, but not to go off on a tangent and be. And believe me, you guys, I have done that. So I've got good answers. One thing here is that I teach from my successes and I teach from my failures. And that's all what I talk about here. So I promise you guys, I'm always giving you firsthand information. That's a great question. And then I'll get into these next four. But I do want to say it's like when I close myself in a room, when I want to talk about the whole process of how do you get into your power, how do you get to know yourself, how do you get there? And now you're talking about when you are there in your power. So for me, it's like my work took off like crazy in like 2000, 2010. I was showing work in museums. I have bodies of work everywhere. I had a multi-million-dollar line of jewelry. I had a product called ice resin, just starting it. People were hunting me down everywhere. And it's like, I realized I, sadly enough, got off into that big egocentric place. It happens when your boundaries aren't strong enough. And that will be a good talk for another time. When your boundaries are not strong, it's kind of a way that you use to hold your ego. That's when your ego gets involved, and your ego has to get involved to give you strength. So back to this subject. That's a great subject. Thanks for that question, because that's going to be part of it. I think I can address it in the end. So, imposter syndrome is really coming into yourself vulnerable. When you feel vulnerable doing your work, you know that you're on the right track with your work. So, number one is, when you're vulnerable is also when you're open for other people getting on and saying things. It's really interesting. When I started YouTube, I just started getting on YouTube back in November because I was like, I love this platform. I watch it all the time. I have a lot to say and mentor people. And it's this stage of my life where I love mentoring. So I got on there and I just started posting a few things. And it was so interesting for me because, of course, it's always when you're first starting out. It's when people feel like you don't exactly know what you're talking about, or you're just first on the board. I'm first on YouTube. This person had no idea how much experience in life and in jewelry and in business I had. But this person got on and said so many horrible things. She was the first one to comment, right? And I looked at it and I laughed, and my feelings were a little bit hurt because I was in my vulnerable stage. But because I was just starting new on YouTube. Like, can I do this? Can I not do this? But what happened is, when I really realized what she was saying, she got on because it's like, it could really stop you in your tracks when someone says something negative about you, when you're in this vulnerable state. And right at the beginning, I think she was like, who do you think you are? And she was correcting words that I said in my video. And luckily I could just erase her comments and I moved forward in my own way and just let it go. And that's really the thing to do. So, but it was really interesting because back when I was in my 20s and I was developing my first jewelry company, my first line of jewelry, really getting my work out there for the first time, I, of course, felt like an imposter. I was a designer. I was starting to get big companies like Nordstrom, Banana Republic, Peruvian Connection, and working with these companies. But I for sure felt like an imposter. I was in Chicago. I was starting my company, and I actually called myself a designer because at that point I did not feel like an artist. I felt like an imposter artist, So tell me if you guys feel some of these feelings. It has, to get started, I have never understood why people do that. If you don't like it, move on. That's right. Yes. Hi, Ashley. Good. Oh yeah. I said I thought you were new. That was popping up. Okay. So it's like, it's going to happen. When I first was with my first company in my 20s, I would do my jewelry and I was like, I am not going to say one word to anyone because I knew how big and where I wanted to go with my jewelry work. And I was in Chicago and I had a lot of people, they'd be like, oh, that's a great hobby. You can't make a living doing that. When are you going to get a real job? But this is what you have to overcome. This is where you get your personal strength. So, number one, how do you get your personal strength? How do you hold your ground when you're growing your work and growing your business and growing yourself to what you want it to be, right? How do you hold that? So I have four different ways where what it takes to hold this energy and to start feeling like your real self and letting go of imposter syndrome. So one, what I'd like to say is having a passion for your work is going to solve so many problems, right? Like really loving the symbolism in your work, loving what you're doing. And if you don't love what you're doing, you can get there. There's ways to grow and to get there. And I can talk about a lot of that in a minute. So it's to create yourself, is to really get into your core of who you are. I've had so many people for so many years who would show up and take classes from me, and then they'd hop to the next teacher and take classes, and another one here and another one there, but they wanted to be uh, known for the work. Everyone wants to be known for the work, or everyone wants to have something special in your work, right? Because if you don't have something special, how can people know it's your work, or how will you be able to get into shows? So we all want something. If we're going to do the work, we want something special. The only way to get at that specialness, and once you have something special, you have your passion. So how do you get at that specialness? That's like spending this time with yourself to really learn what you love. And I have some really cool things to share that here, some physical things as I'm getting in my studio, because I don't know if you guys know it or not, but at different times you have to go back in and find your passion. So about a year ago for me, I went back to the drawing board and I threw everything away, and I'm just to the other side of coming back with my passion. And I want to show you guys in a few minutes when I get done with this subject is one little symbol that helped jumpstart me into my symbolism that just like woke me up. I showed in some of my films that this, like whatever it is about this shape or silhouette, this is like making me super excited. Everything about it, the movement of it, the leaves on the bottom, the nature, the hinges in here, all of it in here is something that, so what, when you find something, when you find your passion, you just keep moving with it, right? Okay, so that is finding your symbolism and finding your footing, finding your grounding, and grounding into your passion. So one way that you can find your passion, I talk a lot about finding your passion. I did a whole month on finding your passion. Let me see what you say. I love the shape of the shield and the flow of the design. Thank you. Yeah, I know. I think it's the shield that's done in a beautiful way where I am not needing it to block. I have super good boundaries now, which helps you in your work, right? So, to find your passion is to be inspired. And because I see some people are staying on here and listening to me, and I do have people, for me, it's like I teach creativity and I teach inspiration in my work. As you're sitting here listening to me talk, your body is opening up. If you're still here with me from the beginning, what happens is your body opens up and you relax and you start to get inspired. And this is what happens when a teacher or something, when you go to the museum and see work that resonates with you, or you hear a song that resonates with you. This is called being inspired, or a meditation that really feels good to you. That's where your spirit, because inspired means at the basis of your spirit. And to be an artist encompasses all body, mind, and spirit. So if you're being inspired right now, your spirit, you're being inspired, your spirit is being fulfilled. So, think of other ways like showing up here. That's a great way to get in there and get in your studio and get to work. And a lot of people that have, thank you for the comments too. People have told me, oh my gosh, Susan, I'm so inspired from you. I'm back in my studio. I'm back doing metal again. So you find a way to be inspired. Some of the ways that I like to be inspired is to remember one day a week or 2 days a month, or put down, a time sequence when you will allow yourself to go out in nature and hike, where you will allow yourself to go to a museum exhibit, to a concert, to go on a vacation, to go take a workshop from a teacher, and it's like this is what you need in life. When you sit in your own space and just roll around your own ideas, it's not inspiring. And when you need to get inspired, and that's how you need to find your passion. Hi, Susan. Nice to get you live today, even though Indigo Roses. What a beautiful name. Okay, I know I'm going to know you in person, but I don't recognize your name here on YouTube, but it's beautiful. I'm so glad you caught me, though. Yay, good. I'm talking about I am talking about imposter syndrome that we all have on and off through our life. Even it's like, look, even the years and successes that I've had in lines of jewelry and winning awards. I mean, I won an award at Milan Fashion Week. It's like, yes, you have these awards, but still at different times. I won an international award from Dr. Robert Liu, who had Ornament magazine, quite a few years back, which was such a beautiful award. But when you come back into it, when I'm coming back into this again, it's easy for me to feel like, oh my gosh, I've just been doing business of ice resin for so long. I need to get back to my art self, So it's really easy. It's elusive. So ways that you can get into your passion and your inspiration is to find something that inspires you, like showing up and hearing me talk, like walking in nature, like going to museums, going to a concert, and really making a commitment to do that for yourself, not holding back. Like, even if you feel like, oh my gosh, I have so many orders to fill, or I need to get my business going, I shouldn't be leaving my studio. You go and you be inspired, because the life of an artist, you guys, if you guys see my in the studio, my films here on YouTube, I always start with how I have been inspired that week or that month, by hikes or by exhibits or by a beautiful coffee shop that I saw. Just these little things like this can be such an inspiration. So that's number one, to help get you out of your imposter syndrome, is to make sure that you love your work, and you won't love it all the time, but to have a passion for it, right? Okay. Number two, I have down two is, once you find your passion, or feel, I'm just like right at the verge of my passion with these leaves. So let me show you, I'll show you my passion of what, might as well show you these little pieces, and then I'll go into the next three. These are my little leaves, so I've stepped up, I've done these, turned them into dimensional. They grow a little bit every single day. Every single time I make these, they change and they shift one little tiny inch at a time. And then I found these leaves are showing up because they're inspiring me. They're showing up in all of my work. They're showing up in, these hinges and movement. And this is my last one, but they're showing up in all of my work. So my work, moving 1 inch at a time, is having the same feel, the same kind of hinges and movement. And I'll bring this one forward. Oh my gosh, this one has been so fun too. This one has been fun, but I think I'm adding on to it. So here's where my leaves, move them into pods. I'm finding a passion. So don't worry, you have to take it and grow it. And that's even how people who are doing an album, this is how it works when you're even putting together music on an album. You move 1 inch at a song, time. One of the things we loved to listen to albums when we were younger, because the albums, what you could feel, the difference in songs. Maybe there would be two main songs that were completely different, and then all of these other songs that were put inside of this feel, before an artist moved to a different sound. So That was number two is, so when you feel that inspiration, now it is time, once you feel your inspiration, now that it is time to go in deep and focus. So this is requiring focus of take it and grow it. Yay, I love that, Barb. That's right. Take it and grow it. Is there a place you long to visit for creative inspiration that you've never been to before? Just curious. Yeah, and I want to hear you guys too. I have been so excited about India. So for me, I I wanted Morocco for so long. I was building jewelry from Morocco, which I'm going to put in my next film. Some of the techniques, my next film of in the studio, Morocco, and I satisfied that. But I'm going again. But now it's like I tried to go to India, but it was COVID happened. I do have a trip, you guys, to India, and I think there's 3 spaces left if anyone is interested. If that's your passion too for India, you can pop into my profile and take a look at the workshop. It's a tour. It's an incredible tour. So mine right now is India, and then probably Portugal. Right? So many people are being inspired by in Portugal. Where are you thinking, Indigo? Where would be your love? Yeah, and some kind for me, it's like I like traveling. Truthfully, though, you guys, the way that I'm being inspired recently is literally just by I traveled for so long, so much that literally for me, what's doing it for me right now is just showing up, being in my studio every day, inch by inch by inch. Oh, there, Brooke put creativity for visionaries for Susan Lenart. Wait, oh, Brooke put the shop in there. If anyone wants to pop over and see the thank you. Here's where the India workshop is if anyone is interested. So okay, so I guess I'm on step 2, a couple of them at a time. So step 2, and that was your inhale. When you're inhaling, you're going out and you're taking in your inspiration. 2 is your exhale. I'm quiet in my studio, working inch by inch, getting through some of these ideas that are in my head. And this is where focus is required. And this is where I'm letting go of imposter syndrome. I'm feeling more and more like myself because I have my passion. Now I have my focus. And my focus is about, when I show up, giving myself times to show up and not, there was times like 2 months ago where I was like bored because I couldn't get there. When you feel boredom, you guys, when you feel boredom when you're at your studio space, I want to challenge you to take that next step and let it take it in and let it flow. Because if you stay there and show up, a lot of times boredom is just an artist block. It's a creative block. So it's like if you push yourself through it, if it's not going to hurt you, if it's not going to be painful, if you push yourself through it, you can get to the other side of some beautiful work. And I just experienced that for myself. So that's pretty cool. I like that. I love your new silver leaves. Thank you. Incorporate nature and spell elements like leaf sticks, wood stones with glittering gemstones. Our beautiful Mother Earth has helped to inspire us. Thank you. I can't wait to take a look at your work too. Absolutely. It's like, how can we find, and that's you guys using your personal sacred objects. And I've always been a believer in that. And actually, I'm going to do a whole workshop on, actually, I do that workshop. I have an intentional metalsmithing, silversmithing course coming up. I'll mention more about it at the end, but I am opening up for the first time since like 2020, my mentored workshop where I work with every single person step by step through getting to the core of who you are and what you're looking for in your work. Challenging you to show up in your studio, push past these creative blocks. It's such an amazing workshop. You guys should see the people that graduated from this course. I mean, it's so well priced, and the people who graduated from there months ago, years ago, so many people are out there working in the world and so powerful and way past imposter syndrome. So that's going to be, you guys can also look in the profile, and you guys I have actually a workshop coming up August 22nd, and that's jumpstarting the signups. If anyone is interested in being mentored by me and in a course, I'll talk more about it in the end though, because I want to get through these. So the second one is really showing up and focusing. And what one of the steps are, is this deep dive into who you are. And that requires, you guys, when you're showing up and you're focusing in your studio, this requires letting go, letting go, letting go. Like just letting go of time, letting go of space, letting go of, oh my gosh, I'm not getting anything done, letting go of so many things, pushing past, getting a breakthrough by pushing past boredom, and just not being concerned about, I have to get something done. Whether you have to make a living with your work or not, if you can get into this space, of just letting go for a certain period of time or one day a week where you can let go and just be in there and not worry about accomplishing something. That is beautiful focus to really explore your creativity and get you to your real work and your real self. So I say explore on, whether you take one day a week and get in there and explore whatever's on your mind. Like we're so used to thinking, oh my gosh, I need my work to be beautiful and lovely for the world. Your work can be about love, but can also be about anger and politics and sadness and anxiety. All of these things, there's no emotion that is bad. You can explore all of these topics if that's truly your focus on what your work is. And I can give you a pure example because there was years back where I did Making Connections, my book, I actually did worked with weapons and tools for protection. I did all cold joins, and let's see if do I have it under here? I just have this book here. Where's my, I'll pull Making Connections out. But that's a book that these are both self-published. This is the Intentional Metalsmithing book. And if you're ready for the program, this is the only time that I'm mentoring and teaching this. And we'll have more information about that soon. But for now, if you want to get on the wait list for my free course that I'm teaching August 22nd, you can do that now or after. So it's so good to, even if your true self, for me, it's like when I did Making Connections, it was a lot about anger. And it was, I go to art shows at the universities. And at the universities, I love going to like fresh artist work right in college, because for one, when you're still in college and you're writing about your real true stuff because your university has opened you up. But for two, you're also not afraid. You're encouraged in art school to share this stuff all over your work. For three, it's raw work and it's such good prices. Oh, there, Brooke has it on here again. Here's the free course sign up, you guys. If you guys want to pop on to my free course, August 22nd, it'll be recorded if you can't make it, but that's my free course that's coming up. That is going to be a pretty cool one. It's all about, the foundational work of being a silversmith and really getting you started so easy. It really is. If you're a beginner and you haven't started silversmithing, I like to show people such a simplistic silversmithing way to go about your artwork. If you're already an existing designer, I've had so many people who have established work and they've been in this course because it helps give you the power of a group, which is going to be the next topic. I'll talk about the power of a group next. And then I'll talk about these two things are really interesting, these last two. The power of a group for imposter syndrome. Wow. It's like I see these groups that form with silversmithing groups and artist groups. And man, if you are not so like 100% convinced you're an artist and your work is 100% amazing, and if you have found your niche, great. These groups work. But if you're still at your vulnerable state, you want to be very careful with the groups that you're spending time with. Even in my own family in the late 1980s and early 90s, when I was building my body of work, my family was damaging around me. I couldn't tell them my plans because they would shoot me down immediately. You want to be with the power of a group, and a group holds a lot of power, because what it actually is like-minded people getting together and holding a space. I love leading groups for that reason, because groups, I can hold a big space for people who are just starting off, or, in this space. When I go into the classroom, I try to do some techniques to knock down people's boundaries, because then you're in a vulnerable space, and I create a container where you can be vulnerable and be accepted. and feel good about being vulnerable, because this vulnerable state is the only place that you're going to get to your real creative space that you need to be in. So that's what I do, is create a space so you can be vulnerable, and the people around you, when we're vulnerable, nobody's going to hurt each other. Someone can hurt you in a second if they are putting down your artwork when you're first fresh, putting down your jewelry work when you're first fresh. I mean, think about my work with people going, what? You don't wear sticks in your work. These people have come up to me and been like, what? You're using the wrong torch. Oh my God. Like I had a really well-known silversmith that I loved and admired. He was so big in the Goldsmith Society. And when I first met him, I was so excited to meet him. He literally put me down for the torch that I used. I was like, are you kidding me? The good thing is, you guys, when I wrote my book, Making Connections, which is now, I don't have it here. I thought I did. No, I have it. Here, I've got it way under. I've got you guys built up on here. I'll pull it out towards the end. Making Connections, way down here. So Making Connections is a book that I self-published, and it was actually I made sure it was endorsed by the Goldsmith Society, that the head of the Goldsmith Society, who did cold drawing work too, loved it. Tim McCrae, who wrote all of the university books, endorsed it. So I was really, really lucky to, it really made a big boom in the Goldsmiths world, which is crazy. I know you love your big sister. She supports, yay, and believes in you no matter what crazy stuff that I do. I love that. Yes, that's what you need to do, is find your people who support you, so you can be strong and you can be vulnerable and really get into your deepest of work. And anyway, that's what really I love to do, is also hold the vibration of a group and really mentor and guide people through opening up and getting into your real work. Love that. And the fourth thing is, which, oh my gosh, this is such a crazy subject, and that is number 4 is we're so bombarded by beautiful work that sometimes is photographed and enhanced and, maybe not even real a lot of the times. But we're so bombarded by work that when you get, you can look on Pinterest and see 100 different ideas and be like, oh, I want to do that. I want to do that. Look at her. She's way better than me. Right? And so when you have the combination of people not recognizing your work, and most of the time, you guys, it's so interesting, when someone really loves your work, if they're off balance, they will not give you the compliments. You have to be around real positive people that are happy in life. People that are happy will tell the truth and support you. People who are not happy, I remember when I first started teaching, I would have my work, and I would have so many people that would come up to me and they wouldn't say one thing about my work. Yet they were in my class, they're in my class. So I knew they must like my work, but they would come up to me and they would just be in a panic and they would talk endlessly about their work and how much better it is, but they do this twist or that twist. And I was like, this is odd. Why is this happening? And I realized when people aren't centered, you're not going to hear compliments from them. In fact, if they do fall in love with your work, you might hear the opposite. This is why I also love the power of a group, because we tell the truth. When people are happy, we can grow each other. We're all like flowers. I think of us all as flowers. The power of a group, when a group is strong and in a good place and the same vibration, we can raise our consciousness and our work and our power and our strength at super speed. And I have seen beginners come into a group in my workshops, maybe there's 2 beginners and 14 people who know silversmithing well, and these 2 beginners shoot up with the power of these groups. And that's how, that's important when you're learning in workshops. We used to learn in art school. They would, oh my God, my age back at art school, they'd be like, this is crap, your teacher. And they'd throw it across the room, right? And I think CB is Pam, right? Alexis says, I came across your channel after searching for an inspired silversmith community. Thank you so much for creating this content. You've helped me shift my mindset in a beautiful way. Oh, Alexis, I love that. Thank you for saying that. It really is what it's all about. And if you, I have different ways that I have groups. For one, I have my intentional metalsmithing course that is coming up that I'm mentoring people and I'm working through, and I get on once a week and talk with you in a support system. And Candace, that's right. Thank you, Candace. I always forget. I love you, Candace. And Candace is in my Unfolding group, which you guys, I have another monthly subscription that I am really in the process of changing and morphing. So if you guys want to be in a really cool group, it's a lot of energy work. This is the talking side of it. I get really more into the energy work. I'm meeting with everyone next Wednesday. And I decided I'm going to do it like one of my other courses that I taught, where I'm going in and we're going to be doing energy work in there when I show up. Eventually I'm moving it into it's a creativity program. It's about being the power and strength of an artist. And it's about all of this that I talk about now. And I know there's people in there, but if you guys aren't in there and you feel inspired by this is where we show up on a personal basis. And we can, one of the things I want to do this Wednesday is really thinking about things that you don't think about, like taking a hand, using energy and really putting it into our studio space. So when putting inspiration, putting love, putting freshness, putting ideas into our studio space in an energetic way, which is real, because all of this invisible is real. So the next time you walk into your studio space, you've got ideas, you've got things to do, and you're on your way. So this is like one little practice that I do to help keep me strong as an artist. And that's what Unfolding is about. So there's quite a few different things I'm talking about here, but mostly you guys sign up for that free course that I have, where I'm, it's different than this one. I'm teaching you how to make a foundational project. And I'm really talking what intentional metalsmithing is all about. And it's the power of our group. So the fourth one that I was talking about that I don't want to leave out is, really it's like we're bombarded by so much that sometimes it's hard to hold on to the idea that your work is valuable and viable. It's like there were definitely many years where I needed to go out and teach, and I needed people to buy my work and tell me how good my work was, but that leads you into ego, which is how we started this whole conversation, right? That it's like, if you're needing your ego to be fed, you have the opportunity to go off on a tangent that is not for the greater good. It's like, for me, when you start on a mission, as I start on this mission to really show up and be inspiring and talk about silversmithing and talk about how we can develop our work and really help people develop their work. If I, at this point, as I'm building, if I at this point went off on an egotistical tangent, I know now, from having experienced it before, that I would just lose everything. I'd be back to square one again because I'm showing up and really as my own flower, because we know in the power of a group, if you're strong, and we're in silversmithing, and I'm strong and I'm in silversmithing. I was talking to my friend Richard Sally yesterday, and he, I was like, Richard, the stronger we get, we're creating markets for ourselves, you guys. The more open we are, the more I teach you, I'm creating a market for myself. The more you build your work and share your ideas, and you're strong in our community, the more you're creating a market for yourself. It's like we're just creating a jewelry market for ourselves. Jewelry, I think it was in Newsweek, and it said the whole jewelry industry is supposed to triple in the next 6 years, and now it might be 5 years. It's supposed to triple. Isn't that amazing, you guys? We're going to be part of this. We're part of this, and especially when we bring it forward as like self-expression. Jewelry is about self-expression. It's about expressing yourself through your symbolism, through your work. And that's what intentional metalsmithing is about, expressing yourself through your work. And that's what we go do a deep dive. You learn a lot of techniques. It's 7 different courses in there of techniques. But when I show up and talk to you, I talk to you about your own personal work. And so that's the power of that. It takes a while to recover from art school. Loved it, but phew, I'm laughing now. Oh my God. So true. When you're out of art school, you're like, okay, now what do I do? It's like you're nothing could be practical, right? Um, the art class in college was similar for me, and maybe that's where my lack of confidence comes from. I have a fear of failing, but a strong urge to learn something new. Oh my gosh, I would love to have you in intentional metalsmithing if you guys are up for it. It's under $1,000, and it is the most powerful. And I have like a 6 a 6 week or 6 month, I think 6 month payment plan too. So really, you guys, I'm offering it this year because I'm starting fresh with new students. By the time I get to next year, it's usually $1,400. But I'm the first time I offered it was 14, and I'm offering it for this price because I'm at foundational. I'm at foundational. I feel like so interested in intentional metalsmithing. Great, Andrea. I would love to have you in there. I would love to. Really, you guys, it's so powerful. If you guys pop in there, you can read. So on August 22nd, I'm going to show up. I'm teaching a technique. I'm teaching passion. I'm teaching like getting into your own symbolism. And after that is when the doors open and you guys can sign up with payment plans or anything like that. So just make sure you get on my email list, get into, get into this course, even if you can't show up. And I'm taking a certain amount of students. It's online. Yeah. I'm telling you, you're going to love it. I have seen people, I wrote about, there are people who are now teaching workshops and their heart is opened. Look, you guys, in art school and in silversmithing school, sometimes it is just pounded into you. And when you're at the university learning silversmithing, it's more about repair. It's more about repair. Back in the late 80s and early 90s. Oh, happy birthday. I'll think about you. When I'm there doing my live, I'm going to be thinking about you, Andrea. So, it's like, yes, I can't remember what I was saying, but anyway, I know it was inspiring for me. Oh yeah, when you're in school. Okay, I only took art in high school, never did well. The suck-ups did. I love that, Chris. Was selling at a show, and my old art teacher bought my jewelry. There you go. Boom. That's telling you something, you guys. You know what, you guys? The only thing stopping you from being the most powerful jeweler or artist that you ever need to be is imposter syndrome. And we all have it in different ways. Or, I have seen the worst jewelers or dancers or artists, or, I was in the fiber world. My sister was a dancer up at Columbia. And it's like the only thing that stopped people from moving forward was not feeling that confidence in yourself. If you want confidence, this is our group. One thing I do have is confidence, because I have failed and won at so many things in my life. I like trying different markets. It was really funny because there was a comment the other day that someone said, oh yeah, sure, you can do all this when you're rich. And I was like, oh, well, hold on a second. I have been rich, I've been poor, I have lost everything, I have gained everything. I've lost it and gained. It's like life is not a straight line. I cry in my coffee sometimes. I wish it was a straight line. That's why I'm here showing up and really realizing like I have a love in my life now, and I want to love my work, and I want to love people around me. And when you have that, I am just realizing you have everything. The money comes. When your energy is good, the money comes, the sales come, the work comes, everything comes. That's all you need. I heard that for a year. I'm from the south side of Chicago. You know what I mean? So it's like, I read that before. That didn't even compute. If you guys, I wasn't poor living on the south side of Chicago, but if you guys have ever watched Shameless, like those are some of my friends. That's the south side of Chicago. So right on. You know what I mean? Addicted to your energy. Oh, thank you, Evelyn. It's so real, you guys. It's so real. It's like, feel it. I feel it from, okay, so here's an example. Look, we're all being inspired being on here right now. I feel your energy and you feel my energy. And when you guys this is the power of a group. I can feel your guys' energy just giving it to me, giving me that love. And this makes me feel powerful. When I get off, I'm going to build to my heart's desire. When you guys get off. So, in my unfolding group, I have a more personal, small group where I can see all you guys. And I'm going to start not this month, but maybe I think in maybe September, I want to start with a different program where I'm showing up and I'm really walking you guys through some of these exercises that I'm showing here that literally work. They work. They're breath work. It's literally work to give you power, strength, love, break through creative blocks. And then my second time I show up, I keep it lighter. We can talk about silversmithing, and I want to hear from you guys, and we all can share. And so we can talk about that. Hello, Myrtle Beach. Oh my gosh, hi. How are you? Nice to see you. Magic soaps. Perfect, perfect. I love it. So you guys, it's like this overwhelm. So one of the things that I love to teach also when I'm in my intentional metalsmithing workshop teaching, I will tell you that we are staying in our group and you work with yourself, because when you open up Pinterest, you're like, oh my God, I can do that technique and this one and this one and this one. Pretty soon you can't get anything done because you're frozen. You've looked at too much. There were years when I stopped teaching, and when I went back into teaching again, or I was selling my jewelry, went back into teaching, I saw how much material everybody has. When you have an overabundance of material that you love, it's hard to, I used to make, when people would come out, I used to make them clear everything and pull out one piece, one bead, one color, or maybe 3 gems, or, one found object, and giving you a challenge of now you have to get started and build with this piece. And everybody's like, wait, I don't have my stuff. Absence is the mother of invention. And that starts your whole creative process. I say the same thing with tools. I love working with the nomadic tool set. You know why? Because when you work with a real simplistic soldering techniques and simplistic, you have to dig into your creativity, which is the fun part. Who wants to just copy things your whole life? That's not very much fun. It's this creative process. It's this inspiration that we feel. Can I also talk about my rolling mill? Hi, Lexi. How are you? Yeah, my rolling mill. I love my rolling mill. Can you guys see it? You guys can see my rolling mill. This one is, look, you guys, I have a little one here that is $200, and I used it endlessly. This one is $1,000 rolling mill. It's a Durston, and I bought it because I teach workshops. It's just wider. And I was getting serious into rolling out my silver, rolling out all this. This is where I put all my leaf patterns on everything. But truthfully, can I tell you guys a little secret? Like, look, I roll leaf patterns onto here. But if I'm going to tell you guys a secret about things, this is where it's like, look, see that leaf pattern? That's what I love, taking a leaf, rolling it on my work. But my suggestion for rolling mills, when I had ice resin, I was in the craft world, and there was this paper press. Spellbinders had this paper press. There are these paper companies that have these. Ranger has this paper press where you could roll through and get patterns on your paper. Well, guess what? That works with our metal. That works with silver as long as you anneal it. It works with copper as long as it's annealed. Just maybe use like a 24 gauge, 22 gauge. I wouldn't go heavier than a 22 gauge. I love using 24 gauge. So you can actually take those little rolling mills that are made for paper, and they have all these beautiful patterns that you can roll right onto there. You don't even have to hunt yours down. Silversmiths, truthfully, you guys, as silversmiths, life is you because it's like the university. I was just talking to my hopefully soon to be daughter-in-law who just got through cosmetology, and it's like she had to you learn everything, all your muscles, all your anatomy, your whole anatomy of the body. What is she really going to work with that when she's cutting hair. You know what I mean? And it's like silversmiths. You learn when you're in the university, you learn so much information that you're never going to use. You know, as artists, you learn so much information. So you have things to draw from. But seriously, if I was on a low budget, I would pick up, you could find it cheap. A lot of people giving things away from those craft rooms of a spellbinder paper mill. And you could pick up a bunch of different presses for it too. Or just buy like a $200 rolling mill. You could buy the $1,000 rolling mill, or it's $1,200 in shipping. I love mine, you know, but the problem is I have to really take care of it because I don't want it to get rusted. I ran out of practice stones and found some dice in a drawer. It turned out to be such a fun piece of jewelry. Being without gave me so much creativity. I love that. Thank you for saying that. And you know what, you guys? I did a whole piece called the poker game that is in making connections. That piece, it was 52 playing cards, and it had cigarette butts in there, and it had $100 bill that I had turned into a charm, and it was in there because if you were out of money in a poker game, you could cut it, you could chop it apart, tape it together, and you're back in the game, you know. But with that, guess who collected that? It was a major poker player, and they use it at these poker conventions. Isn't that crazy? So yes, do your die. You're building a name for yourself with things that you love. Anytime you have love and fun in your work, you're on the right path. Totally agree with you that the less options you have, the more creative and unique your pieces will be. You stand out from the crowd instead of blending in. Bingo. April, well, I wasn't aware that you needed to take art classes to become a silversmith and make jewelry, but now I'm realizing without knowing how to draw anything other than a stick, man, it's more difficult. No, you know what, April? You don't have to go to art school. I went to art school and other people did. People who are attracted to me. So it's like some people, here's the difference. Silversmiths, when you go to school to learn silversmith or you learn it as a craft, it's a craft. It's a craft to master. It's goldsmithing and it's repair. So there are many people who are in jewelry who love, like, oh my God, wait till you see this perfect join. Wait till you see this perfect, you know. So it's more about wait till you see how great I did this repair. It's more about that. You may be artist. You don't have to go to art school. If you are an artist, you don't have to go to art school to be an artist. We were crazy to go to art school to be an artist. If you are an artist, this is my intentional metalsmithing course is a beautiful approach because you're learning to build from your heart your own body of work. And that's what I talk about. Have I been successful building crazy things in my life? Abso-friggin-lutely. You know, I have generated millions of dollars through products, lines of jewelry. I've worked with you know, multi-million-dollar, billion-dollar companies building lines like this. You know, I've had my own companies. I've done a lot. It's all just in letting go and freeing yourself, and don't, you know, not feeling intimidated by someone else, you know, someone else's work. Like, we're just happy for other people. They're called die cutting machine. Oh, my previous career, a hairstylist. There you go. Oh, you're going to be good at silversmithing. I know you are, because that's great. You know, for me, and embossing folders, that's a world. I'm a paper crafter. Oh my God. Perfect. Embossing folders. See, you can put all kinds of prints. So that's what it's called, you guys. The paper crafters, they have these embossing folders and they have an embossing rolling mill, and it's not that expensive. If you have one at your house, I had one from Spellbinders and it was bright pink. And I was like, oh my God, I am not going to, you know, Silversmith Studios aren't usually bright pink. You know, they're all like hardcore metal work, so tools, anvils. You guys can see, if you guys are in mine, you can see my anvil, you know, 80-pound anvil, my tanks, all that, right? So I was like, well, I'm just going to tuck this little pink one way up and away, but that's all you saw when you walked in. But those really work. So, you know, I'm a person where it's like, I am about simplicity. So I hope I see you guys August 22nd. I am doing a talk on just simplifying silversmithing. You know, it's completely different than this. So let's see, you're on, oh, here's something here. Oh my gosh, that's funny. Okay, good. Okay, so Brooke, put this in the profile. She put it in there for us so you guys can see where you can hop on. Go inside my profile here in YouTube. Check out my membership and make sure you sign up for that August 22nd date, because it's going to be such a cool class. And I'm so excited. I'm taking a small group of really, students who are either beginners or intermediate or even advanced, but really looking to build your work in a beautiful way. And, by using work from your heart. I love doing this type of work. So that's planned, August 22nd. After that, if you guys do want to sign up, you're welcome to sign up. There's a number of different payment methods. And really, I'm so excited. I can't wait. And if you're inspired here, stick with me. All right, you guys. I'm surprised it lasted this long. We have a power outage here, maybe until Friday. We don't know. But I'm so glad to be with you guys today. Please enjoy your day. And till then.